Wicked justice, a secret they keep, but I see through her lies, I see the truth. Gonna make her pay for what she do. Fanny's got a reputation to uphold, but her tactics are shady. Story untold, she thinks she's clever, but I'm on to her game. I'll expose her ways and put her to shame.
Hey folks, it's warm, it's darn warm. This is just a test to see, for those who don't, I got my luggage late last night. And I am in New Orleans. Lighting, not the best. How is sound, folks? Because I'm going by my old webcam with microphone. So internet, not that resolution is bad. Okay, let's see if I can do anything about that, or if it's just okay standard. I will try to get up to high def 720. Is this better? I have no clue. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I changed to 720. I have no idea how that will work. Now I am in New Orleans, but I'm still going to pour myself a sweetheart bourbon that I bought in Houston. Okay, sound is excellent even. Okay, now we do have to try streaming from something. Who is live that we can? Here's one. Live. Oh no, she just went. Oh, why does it say? It says Megan Fox is live here, but I don't see her. Maybe let's try that one instead. Live. This is strange. Subscriptions. Oh, she's having a premiere. That explains it. So let's. Okay, let's try stream sniping. Present, share screen. Let's see if this works. From AV to the 7th power, I'm just going to stream snipe a bit just so we can.
YSL. Lack of preparation. This, for me, is probably the biggest one. The prosecutors lack preparation. It has been evident in several key moments. Check out this clip where I watched just one day and got frustrated.
This judge told Miss Love yesterday, you guys need to be ready. The DA's office has 200 employees that...
Okay, was it an echo? What city am I in? I am in New Orleans. Whoa. So that, no echo, no nothing. That's amazing. I hope everything works then. Okay, okay. Now we are not going to, I'm just using AV to the 7th power just to, because her sound is impeccable when she does her videos. So, okay. But okay, so this will now become from testing to interesting things in the Young Thug trial. So let me just edit Young trial. Young Thug 3. I'm not used to this the small keyboard. Young Thug trial. The trial just changed. Why do we saw the real Woody today? I'm so used to my keyboard. So this is, I'm trying to put an A in and I do it too far to the left. So, okay, so this just changed. Save changes. Okay. There it is. Law and C word. Let's go to the afternoon. Hold on. There. Share this instead. Oh, for crying out loud. Law and C word. Full screen. Subtitles. Better sound. And dun, dun, dun. Yeah, we saw the real Woody today, folks. We saw the real Woody. Okay, now I have poor internet is fluctuating, and I'm using the hotel internet. I'm in the middle of New Orleans, and they have no password-free Wi-Fi. I would imagine there's a ton of people on it that not necessarily are guests. I should switch to mobile, but cheers, by the way. Title had changed. Did I get my luggage? Yes, I did. So I got my laptop, I got my webcam, I got a full set of underwear and stuff. And I got a proper travel adapter, a proper one. I got that from Best Buy. So today, Best Buy Gandalf was at Best Buy. Okay, yeah, as I said, today we saw the real Woody. I've been waiting for him. I've read up on him, and we heard what he is actually capable of today. But did the prosecution and the judge lie to him? Or were they liberal with the truth? But let's go through. I don't have a timestamp on where it happened during the afternoon, so we will just play and see where we get. Come on, come on. Oh yeah, we are back to the norm. Since before I got fiber internet, not the best of. Yeah. No, not. Let's see. Buri is back on the stand. Do anyone have that timestamp? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, Blue Sky. Yeah, here's the thing. It was how they worded his the answer to his question. That is so. Where I'm trying. Yes, I tried to change the title of this stream. Once I knew it worked. Okay, jury is in. This is from the Law and Seaward. They forgot to put sound on in the beginning. Playing in 1.25. And I'm doing lower res because we don't really need high res. Title says Young Thug trial. The trial just changed again. We saw the real Woody today. Yeah, I started as testing, but since it seemed to work, I'm going straight into this. Because I did stream while
after Nut was killed, that you thought the whole.
I did stream the morning session, but that was also when I was on the road. Which Casper Ghost, Woody has federal immunity? No, he has not federal immunity.
If gang was going to be after you.
I recall.
Okay. Isn't it true that you told Detective Copeland it's not a gang, it's the whole clique, you know what I'm saying? The whole gang. They're after me.
No.
No, you did not say that.
Because I don't know who the hell Detective Copeland is.
Excuse me. I meant to say Detective Thorpe.
I don't recall.
All right.
Welcome, folks. Welcome.
Now, we talked earlier about the gambling house in Lakewood. Did you tell Detective Thorpe during the same January 11, 2015 interview that the person who shot up the gambling house in Lakewood was Kel?
I don't recall.
Okay. And that when Kel shot up the gambling house, he actually shot up Thug's car?
I don't recall.
And that Thug wanted Kel to pay for the window of his car being shot up?
What about it?
Did you tell Detective Thorpe during your January 11, 2015 interview that Thug wanted Kel to pay for the window that was shot up?
I don't recall.
Good question here. Yeah, they claim immunity, not immunity because of statute of limitations is expired. Here's the caveat with that. Well, we will get there. But if the federal government decides to, or a federal prosecutor decides to, I'm going to do a RICO. I'm going to get the ones that pled out. I don't like this. There is nothing, in my opinion, the state can do about it. Nothing. Because those will be federal charges. And if they include murder, which has no statute of limitation, this is exactly what they are doing in this trial. They are using murder with its unlimited statute of limitation to force everything else in as underlying or overt acts.
Also, in that January 11th interview, didn't you tell, excuse me, strike that, let me ask. Do you know if Nut was in a gang?
I don't recall.
During that same January 11, 2015 interview, didn't you tell Detective Thorpe that Nut was the big dog in the gang?
I don't recall.
Specifically, didn't you tell Detective Thorpe Nut, he wasn't the big dog, but he was they big?
Question again. Sorry for pausing, but you're on my stream. You should be used by now. The only person who can grant federal immunity, I believe it's the State's Attorney General. That is the only one who can apply for it from a federal judge, or at least sign off on it that they won't charge federally. I have not seen Georgia's Attorney General sign off on that.
Dog. Like Nut ain't the big dog, but he's still a big dog. But he's not over the whole gang, but he's a big dog in the gang.
I don't recall what I told no detective.
So have you, when Nut was alive, did you and Nut ever speak about the issues or the beat that you had with Kel?
I don't recall me and Nut having no conversation.
Okay. In the same January 11, 2015 interview, didn't you tell Detective Thorpe, me and Nut, we've talked about Kel?
I tell Detective Thorpe anything to get him out for me.
Okay. So did you tell Detective Thorpe that you and Nut talked about Kel?
I don't recall having no conversation with Nut. I don't know what I told Detective Thorpe.
When you went and spoke with Detective Thorpe on January 11, 2015, were you concerned about if gang harming your family members?
It's been so long, I don't recall.
Hey, didn't you tell Detective Thorpe in that same interview, I don't know what to say. What can I do? Where can I go? When I leave here, what can I do? Because I have a lot of brothers and sisters. My mama had 10 kids at the house. Yes, my sister, I got an older sister on Boulevard in Oakland City. I got a grandmother in Oakland City. My girl stay in Carver Homes. My other brother stay in Carver Homes. But I'm afraid they might know she's down in Boulevard.
How are they not objecting earlier to this? Because she's reading in transcript into evidence. And for me, this is so improper. But I know the lawyers, the attorneys, the defense attorneys also knows this. So it has to have a specific purpose. I just haven't figured it out yet.
I know they know where she stay.
Wait.
Is it true that you told Detective Thorpe you were concerned about if gang retaliating against your family members? Are you thinking about your response?
Wait.
I asked the question. I didn't know if you were thinking about your answer.
What? I don't know.
Okay. Do you need me to repeat the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it true that you told Detective Thorpe you were concerned about if gang harming your family members?
I don't told Detective Thorpe whatever. Done whatever. I don't remember what I can't specifically say what I told him. I don't know what I told him. I don't remember what I told him.
Earlier, do you recall me asking you about borrowing your brother's car?
Today?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes for the record?
Yes.
Okay. And you told me that you never borrowed your brother's car?
I paid for it, so it's my car.
Okay. In the same January 11, 2015 interview, did you tell Detective Thorpe that it was your brother's vehicle and that you borrowed it from him?
I would tell Detective Thorpe anything. I know when the police question me, they want me.
In your January 11, 2015 interview, you did not go there as a suspect, did you?
That's what I was told.
But when you went there, you were never arrested, correct? On January 11, 2015?
I don't recall.
Okay. Did you leave the precinct after you interviewed with Detective Thorpe on January 11, 2015?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. So you were never arrested, correct?
I don't recall. I don't know.
And when you went there, did Detective Thorpe ever accuse you of killing Nutt?
I don't recall what he said.
Did Detective Thorpe in that entire interview give you an opportunity to tell him what happened the night of the murder?
I can't remember what I can't remember what he specifically. I know he talked about the murder, but I don't know. I can't remember what was said.
Okay, but did you have an opportunity to tell him about what you knew about what happened the night of the murder?
I told him what I made up.
So you made up going to your girlfriend's house?
I don't know if I told him that.
Okay.
I can't remember. I can't recall if I told him that.
If you told him that you were at your girlfriend's house, would that be a lie?
Okay. I don't recall.
If you told him that you borrowed your brother's car, would that be a lie?
That was my car.
Okay, but if you told him that, would that be a lie?
I don't recall.
Okay. Why would you need to lie about your brother's car, about borrowing your brother's car?
Because y'all were putting so much pressure on me that every time I was coming out the door, the police were getting me. So I knew that police was after me.
But you keep saying the police were after you. On January 11th, were the police after you? The police were not after you.
When Detective Third questioned me, I don't know when was it. Like, I don't know. So when you saying January 11th, from my understanding, I thought I walked in and walked right back out. I don't even remember sitting down having no discussion with Detective Thorpe.
Okay.
So I don't know. Detective Thorpe talked to me more than one time. I don't know which time, what he said at which time. I don't remember what was said. I just know that I was just saying whatever that came to my mind. I don't know. I was going to jail. I remember going to jail, trying to talk my way out of jail.
Now, I think earlier you said you do recall speaking to police multiple times in 2015. Is that correct?
No, I talked to them a million times.
And isn't it true that when you spoke to them on the different times you spoke to them, you told them
different stories?
No, you told them the same stories each time you spoke with them. Do you recall that?
I did. I don't know.
Okay. Now, after January 11th, I know you don't remember the date. Do you remember speaking with police again after your car was shot at on the highway?
You said my brother made a report. What I need to talk to them about?
Did you speak to Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis after your car was shot up or shot at on the highway? Do you recall going to the police department and speaking to Detective Gaither?
I don't recall.
And Detective Dennis?
I'm sorry. I don't recall.
Okay. You have permission to approach?
I agree with you in that chat. Today, Prosecutor Hilton was on a different level. She had to actually show up for work. With Judge Glanville and Miss Love doing all their coercion, now Miss Hilton had to show up and work. We will see, as a few of you said in the chat already, she worked around the I don't recall. She got back to it. On a few occasions, there was asked and answered, sustained, but dun dun dun, all of a sudden, this will show up a little bit later.
Yes.
And is there a date on that picture?
Yes.
What is the date on that picture?
The date you've been saying?
Is that January 11, 2015?
Yes.
Here's Porcelain Thunder, I don't know why they even called him again. He's ruining what little case they had. They don't really need to show anything else but showing that Woody was a part of the YSL. And also show that even if the others weren't involved, it was still in furtherance of the gang. So even how much Woody distances himself and distances his protege, if the prosecution can show all under the RICO Act that it was part of the gang and in furtherance of the gang, that's all they need to show. They don't need Woody. They know he has done a lot of time in his life, and maybe he will do more time. They are after these 6 guys on the trial. So I'm not entirely sure this was good for the defense. I am open to be convinced otherwise. I'm not so sure. Let's keep going.
And is that the interview room? Is that the interview room at the Atlanta Police Department where you interviewed with the detective?
I don't recall.
Right. You're right. This time the state like the 10 or 6 to the 378 Yankee Alpha.
Yeah.
Your Honor, the state like the 10 or 6 exhibit 378 Yankee Alpha 1 into evidence.
All right. It's admitted without objection.
Next, I'm going to show you 378 Yankee Bravo 1. So do you see yourself in that picture?
Yes.
And is that date January 28th, 2015?
Yes.
Your Honor, this time the state like the 10 or 6 exhibit 378 Yankee Bravo 1 into evidence.
Admitted without objection.
Now, looking at 378 Yankee Bravo 1, do you see yourself, Detective Gaither, Detective Dennis in that photo?
Yes.
All right. And on that date, do you recall, did you speak with them about your car being shot at on the highway at University and Pryor?
I don't know.
Maybe if I close
Do
the
you ever
curtain,
speak to police
it will be a bit
about
more light.
your car being shot at on University and Pryor Road?
I don't know.
All right. In this interview, back on January 28th, 2015, didn't you speak with Detective Thorpe and Detective Dennis? Excuse me, strike that. Were you arrested on January 28th, 2015?
I don't know.
Did you go into this police interview voluntarily?
I don't remember this at all.
Okay. Do you remember speaking at all, whether it was on January 28th or any other date, about the shooting on the highway to the police?
I don't recall.
Okay. In that interview on January 28th, 2015, didn't you tell Detective Gaither and Dennis about being at a pool party before being shot at on the highway?
I don't recall.
Okay. And while you were at the pool party, there was an individual by the name of Bushi at that pool party.
I don't recall.
And that Bushi was the girlfriend of Yet Gotti.
I don't recall.
And that after you all left this pool party, you were driving on the highway in your brother's vehicle.
I don't recall.
Do you not recall being shot at on the highway? You don't recall telling this to the detectives?
I don't recall none of this you're talking about.
So you don't recall being shot at on the highway?
I've been shot at a lot of times.
Specifically in January 2015, do you recall being shot at on the highway? While in your brother's vehicle?
I don't remember. I don't.
Do you remember telling the detectives that you were shot at on the highway while in your brother's vehicle?
I don't remember what I done told the detectives.
In the January 28, 2015 interview, didn't you tell the detectives that while you were driving on the highway, you had your radio up?
I don't recall.
Okay. And you also told them as you had your radio up, you heard pow, pow, pow.
I don't recall.
Okay. And did you also tell detectives that you then again heard another pow, pow, pow? And so you ducked down?
I don't recall.
And did you also tell detectives then the car stopped working and you tried to hit the gas, but it cut out and it stopped working?
I do not recall.
In the same interview, did you then tell detectives, so the dudes, they came up to you and you was concerned because your car didn't work, because the car wasn't working?
I don't recall.
And in the same interview, did you tell detectives that you then heard some more shots even after that?
I don't recall.
And that the two cars that you saw that were shooting, one was a gray Impala with tinted windows.
I don't recall.
And then you saw another car that was also shooting at your car.
I don't recall.
Then, do you recall Detective Gaither, after you told her about the shooting on the highway, her asking you, when did this beef begin between you and If Gang?
I don't recall.
And you also told her the story about what happened at Club Crucial the Monday before Donovan Thomas was murdered.
I don't recall.
Did you also, in this interview, when Detective Gaither asked, when did this beef begin, that Cal told you the beef began because you hung around a person named Boo?
I don't recall.
And that they were mad because they thought Boo was a rat and that you were hanging around a rat.
I don't recall.
Then do you also recall to telling Detective Gaither, again, with her asking about when did this beef begin, you also telling Detective Gaither in this now January 28th, 2015 interview about the shooting at the gambling house on Lakewood?
I don't recall.
And in this January 28th, 2015 interview, you actually told Detective Gaither that initially you thought another gang did the shooting at the gambling house.
I don't recall.
Okay. But then later you learned that it was Kel who did the shooting at the gambling house.
And he's still alive?
Do you recall telling Detective Gaither about the shooting?
I don't recall.
So now is it fair to say that both in January 11th of 2015, now in the second interview, that you told the same story about this gambling house shooting in Lakewood?
You just confused me. What you say?
Now for the second time, have you told another set of detectives about the gambling house shooting in Lakewood?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you also recall in the same January 28th, 2015 interview, telling Detective Gaither that Kel wanted to speak with Doug on FaceTime?
I don't recall.
Okay. And this is why you were at the Cascade skating rink. You told her about the Cascade skating rink incident as well.
He didn't say I don't recall to everything. He said it a lot, but not to everything. And then it got interesting.
Oh.
I'm streaming the afternoon.
I don't recall.
Okay. And that you told Detective Gaither that when Thug and Kel spoke at the Cascade skating ring, you're going to be a party opponent mission, is what Thug said.
Go ahead.
That Thug told Kel he wanted Kel to pay for the window that he shot up.
The man rich, why would he? I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither that that was the conversation that Thug and Kel had?
I don't recall.
And that Kel said that he wasn't going to pay for the window.
I don't recall.
Okay. And in the same January 28th interview, you also then told Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis about the fight at Club Crucial that Monday before Donovan Thomas was killed.
I bet I was a victim in every interrogation, right?
Did you tell Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis also about the Monday night fight at Club Crucial?
I don't recall.
And that you also told Detective Gaither at the same Monday night event at Club Crucial that you had money flashing and that Kel walked up to you and punched you.
Boy, ain't living like that. He ain't living like that.
But did you tell Detective Gaither that this occurred?
I don't recall.
Also, in the same January 28, 2015 interview, is it true that you also told Detective Gaither that after Kel beat you up, you ran out of the club and went outside of the club and saw Bloody J?
I don't recall.
Yeah.
And in the same January 28, 2015 interview.
This went on for a while. I'm trying to find the damn timestamp when things got interesting. Is it there?
Dennis, that Thug and Bloody J had a falling out because Bloody J joined If Gang.
If you're going off what I said in the past, what I told the investigators?
Okay, not yet. Was it after the break?
Do you recall that Gaither and Dennis told you that in this case you were a victim? So they just wanted to find out from you what happened because you were a victim.
Have the
because you were
timestamp.
shot at
On the road.
Yeah, that's how they were tricking me. But I don't recall saying it.
Hey, I had to get rid of everybody, bro. But they said they.
And with Gaten, the main thing go to my mind is to convince her that I know what I'm talking about. That was my motive. So be bringing up
room with Gaither and Dennis based on those pictures that are in front of you regarding Donovan Thomas's murder.
Did I speak to them about thugs? I don't recall.
Do you recall telling the detectives that Thug thought you were snitching because you were talking to the police?
Huh?
In the same January 2015 interview, did you tell Detective Gaither and Dennis that you thought Thug thought that you were snitching because you had been talking to the police after Donovan Thomas's murder?
They don't make sense. So I don't recall.
Okay. Didn't you tell the detectives in this January 2015 interview, Gaither and Dennis, I think I went wrong when I let Thug know that the detectives keep calling.
We will get there. We will get there. I mean, Woody has been sort of charming. He has been online. He has been everything. And Instagram and on streams. I mean, he is a charming guy. No doubt about it. He is much more intelligent than he appears here. This is at least 50% acting, what he's doing here, in my opinion.
You keep talking about what? You finished?
Would you agree that in early 2015, you went to the police, you talked to the police 5 times?
No, more.
Okay, it's later than this.
About members of MDC beating up Little D from McKinney. People that were with you?
I can't recall.
All right.
Was it this late?
Did I say can be used against me?
Yeah, it was after the last. Here we go, folks. Once he was told that there would be no repercussions, he dropped the mask.
About MDC. And I want to go back very quickly to the shooting at the gambling house in Lakewood. You remember us talking about that a little bit earlier. And when we talked about it earlier, do you recall?
Before that, this is a good question from Lady Red. There. He's saying he spoke to police more than 5 times. Where are those interviews? What was said about this case? He said he told them he lied. Yeah. And this is, in my opinion, the absolute corruption of Atlanta Police Department. They only record and put down reports and save notes if they can get something out of it. We heard it early on from Detective Velasquez, who admitted on the stand that he destroyed statements from witnesses if it didn't go along with what he believed happened, which is evidence tampering, which is a crime. And he had a long, successful career doing it, and now he runs some damn TV show about unsolved crimes, making money. He should be in prison.
All back in 2015, in the same January 2015 interview, telling the detectives that initially you all thought it was MDC that shot at you at the gambling house.
Can you say that again?
Sure. When discussing the gambling house shooting, initially, do you remember telling Detective Gaither that initially you all thought that it was MDC that shot at you all at the gambling house?
I know MDC didn't shoot at us. Me.
And when you talked to Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis about the shooting, you actually went into some details about what happened that night of the shooting. Do you recall doing that?
What you mean?
Like telling Detective Gaither, giving them details about what happened the night of the shooting.
I remember what happened, but I don't remember what I told the police.
Okay, what do you remember happening?
Niggas were shooting at us.
Okay, can you watch your language?
I mean, people were shooting at us.
All right. And where were you all? Where were you standing when they were shooting at you?
Outside.
Okay, and you said they were shooting at us. Who else was out there with you?
A lot of people, little kids. I can't be specific who was out there.
Okay. Do you remember telling Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis that Thug was out there with you?
I don't recall.
Okay. And that the individuals started shooting from the bushes?
I don't recall where they were shooting at, but I thought they were shooting at.
And also, did you tell Detective Gaither that you ended up having to run behind a young woman who was out there as well?
I don't recall what I told the investigators.
And do you recall telling the investigators that at the Cascade skating ring, you confronted Kel about them shooting at you all from the bushes?
What happened in Nut got nothing to do with YSL. Did some shit, screaming language. This got everything to do with Threat. You know what I mean? I was trying to protect Threat from the get-go. You know what I mean? Threat, and they had some more stuff going on. Like,
was Threat at the gambling house when it got shot up by Kel?
Young, you said nothing I say can be used against me?
That's right.
Me and Threat shot up Rich McCoy Day at the barbershop on Bankhead. I don't know.
Here he is, folks. Once on the top 10 most dangerous men in the Atlanta region. And he says some more stuff going on later where he actually has to stop himself, even with that immunity.
What happened with Threat and Rich on the coin, but I'm a ride with my brother. And they was beefing. And yeah, we pulled up and did that.
Okay. And as a result of, why did you and Threat shoot up Rich Homie Quan Daddy's barbershop?
Because I'm a ride with Threat.
Okay. Did Threat tell you why he was shooting?
I don't ask no questions. I just say let go.
And when Rich Homie Quan's barbershop was shot up, was that in September of 2014? Do you remember?
I don't know when. I know we went up there and shot it up.
Okay. Was it before Nut was killed?
Yes.
Do you remember what happened the day that you and Threat shot up Rich Homie Quan's daddy's barbershop?
What you mean?
Do you remember that day? What led up to you going to the barbershop and shooting it up?
I told him they go do it.
What led up to you saying, let's go do it? Why?
Threat was mad. He was like, he fucking keep scaring my language. He was talking, playing like we somebody to play with. And I was ready. I had them choppers on deck.
Why was Threat beefing with Rich Homie Quan to shoot up his daddy's shop?
Cause we didn't know where he was.
So did you go to the shop looking for Rich Homie Quan?
They went to Rich Homie Kwan's dad to shoot it up because they didn't know where Rich was. Trying to get him out in the open. That is a tactic that is quite vile. Going after family members. As I said, here's the real Woody.
No, we went to send a message.
What time did you go and shoot up?
I ain't telling you that.
Okay. Was it in the morning?
It was at night.
To your knowledge, did anyone send threat to go shoot up Rich Homie Quan's daddy's shop to send a message?
No, he said what he said, and I told him, let's go do it.
Okay. You said that you all went to go send a message. What message were you sending?
We ain't the ones to play with.
Okay. Did something happen between Rich Homie Quan and Threat prior to you all having to go send a message?
Yeah, but I don't know nothing about it.
So how do you know something happened if you don't know anything about it?
Because I can't say for facts if it's the truth.
Now, did this shooting of Rich Homie Quan's daddy's barbershop start the beef between?
Samantha says, I'm confused why Woody started answering questions and didn't stick with I don't recall. He wants to pull every blame on himself and Thrash. Now, will he be successful with it? Sorry. Will he be successful with it? Again, I'm not entirely sure. I have no idea how the jury will react. Knowing that now they know Woody has immunity. He will, in their eyes, he will never be punished. But there are people in that courtroom they can punish. That is the thing the prosecution is gambling on. Once they got him talking, they can do the guilt by association. So yeah, we will see. But remember, it's still the prosecution's case. We haven't heard from the defense yet. Let's move on.
If Gang and YSL.
The beef was never between If Gang and YSL.
Okay.
The beef was between me, Threat, and Shell Kell. Rich Homie Quan, because they were Shell Kell was trying to ride Rich Homie Quan. The streets threw YSL into what me and Threat had going on.
Well, that takes me back to the shooting at Lakewood, right?
Can you repeat that?
Sure. You just said that the streets brought YSL into what you and Threat had going on, correct? That's what you just said?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Is that a yes for the record?
Yes, my bad.
So going back to the shooting at the gambling house, when you learned that Shell Kell was the one who shot up Thug's vehicle, did you and Shell Kell squash your beef when the two of you met at the Cascade skating rink?
Nothing I say could be used in no courtroom,
That is correct.
federal or state.
Is that the parameters of the immunity or?
Nothing can be used.
Correct.
The parameter of the immunity is that nothing can be used. But they did not say out loud in federal. Now, I saw in the chat, there might be a chance that Attorney Melnick got him a federal immunity. I have no idea. If he managed to get that, yeah, now, if the state attorney signed off on it, yeah, okay, then he's safe. But, yeah.
And what your question was?
When you and Shell Cal met at the Cascade skating rink, did the two of you shake hands and say that the beef was over when y'all met at the Cascade skating rink?
I put a gun out on him
At the Cascade skating
at the
rink?
Cascade skating ring.
Okay. Well, who'd you pull it out on?
Sheriff Care.
And once you pulled the gun out on Shell Cal, what happened?
I had somebody with me that I didn't want to get caught up in my bullshit, my shenanigans.
Who was with you?
I can't recall.
Well, if somebody you just
I
said,
can't remember who it was with me.
okay. So how do you know you didn't want them caught up in your shenanigans?
Because I wasn't fit to put nobody else in my. I just wasn't gonna do that.
Okay. So after you pulled the gun out on him, did you shake hands with him to say that the beef was over between the two of you?
Nope.
Okay.
I pulled the gun out and let him know I could have got you right now.
Okay. And you didn't shoot him?
No, I didn't.
All right. So did you tell the police Gaither and Dennis back in January 2015 that you and Shell Cal shook hands and said that the beef was over and y'all two were laughing about it?
Well, I'm talking to the police, so I'm not going to tell them what actually took place. If I knew that y'all was going to do what y'all doing today, I wouldn't never even did what I did.
Okay. And then after you told the police that you all shook hands, you told the police that Kel wanted you to FaceTime Thug.
Thug had nothing to do with what we had going on.
But that's not what I'm asking you, Mr.
I'm
Purple.
telling you the truth.
Did Kel shoot up or shoot Thug's car the night that the gambling house was shot up?
Everybody could got shot up, and I can't say if I never seen who actually did it. They say that it was Kel who did it.
Was Thug's car one of the cars that was shot up the night that the gambling house was shot up?
My car was shot up, and a few other cars. I didn't see Thug cars because once I came from behind the wall, everybody was scared of pulling off.
So is your response that you don't know if Thug's car was shot up?
I don't recall if his car was shot. I doubt it was shot up because I seen it a couple days later or whatever.
Did you tell the police that when back in this January interview with Gaither and Dennis, that when Kel asked you to FaceTime Thug, you FaceTime Thug and said, "Hey, Slime, the beef over with." So Thug was like, "Yeah, it's over with." And then Kel got on the phone and Thug started talking. And Thug said, "The beef ain't over with until you pay for my window. You shot my window."
But I told you I'd make anything up if I'm talking to investigators.
Okay. And they clarified and they asked you, is that what Kel said? And you said, no, that's what Thug told Kel.
It don't take a rocket science to come up with it. I don't recall what I told the investigators. I know I wasn't going to tell them that I put a gun on Sheriff Kill, and if I didn't have certain people with me, I was going to do something to them.
Okay. And that furthermore, you said, you told Detective Gaither and Dennis, yeah, he shot Thug's window. So Thug, like, I don't care about none of that, about what you all have going on. You still shot at me. Just pay for my window. If you don't pay for my window, hey man, I ain't letting nothing go. I looked at Kel and said, that's between y'all two. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither and Dennis that?
You know, I don't even talk like that.
All right. And then afterwards, they hung up from FaceTime, and Kel's like, nah, man, call Nut. And so you and Kel started talking, and you told Kel, just pay for the window. This shit over. And Kel's like, pay for the window? This nigga just tried me. Did you tell the police that that's what Kel told you after he got off the phone with the...
When I pulled that gun out on Sheriff Kell, I said, I could have got you. He went his way, and I went mine.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither and Dennis that you actually did shoot at Kel's house back in June of 2015? In the interview in June of 2015, you actually told the police that you shot at Kel. Do you not recall that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
So I don't think I got a chance to get him.
You said that. You told the police you shot in the air, but Kel was around. Do you recall telling the police?
Can you say it again?
Sure.
I shot in the air, but what?
It was just represented that he told the police he shot at Cal. Now it's being represented, he told the police he shot in the air, so Cal was around.
All right, well, that may be something he told the police too. I don't know. She can ask about it and he can answer whatever his recollection is of what he said to the police.
Yeah. Now, look at this way. There is more connection with Woody and Mr. Thomas' murder other than Thresh than any other defendant in this RICO trial. And he gets immunity. He is the one who gets immunity. If it is correct with, now I've said this before with that damn Infinity, I don't believe that drive-by car shown in that surveillance film, I don't think that's an Infinity. But the defense hasn't brought it up, and I'm not a defense attorney for them. I'm not a defense attorney at all. I do labor law. So and I've seen this in other trials where people who are much closer to the actual crime gets immunity, and I've seen convictions based on that. So, yeah. And here's the thing, folks. The prosecutors probably knew about all of this. And they still gave him immunity and charged everybody else.
Go ahead. Okay, well, that is true. So make sure that you have a basis for your questions.
Yes, I do, Your Honor. Looking at those pictures, did you also speak to detectives in June of 2015?
June? Yes.
Okay. And during that interview, do you recall telling the police that you actually did shoot at Kel, but you told them that you actually shot in the air, but Kel was around?
I love God too much to be shooting at him.
Okay. Do you recall telling the police that you shot in the air?
No, I don't even recall ever shooting in the air.
Okay. Now I want to go back to the January 28th, 2015 interview. Do you recall telling the detectives that you told Kel, you got a problem with Thug, you don't have a problem with me, that's over with, and y'all shook hands?
Yeah, I don't recall what I done told the investigators.
Now, in the same 2015 interview with Gaither and Dennis, after you spoke with them, Gaither and Dennis, about what led up to the shooting on the highway, do you recall giving them more detailed information about the shooting on the highway?
What you mean?
Sure. Let me ask you this. Do you remember how long your interview was with Gaither and Dennis?
See, they questioned me so many times.
Okay. Do you remember the interview being approximately 3 hours?
Probably so.
Okay. And in the course of that interview, do you recall talking to them about a number of different things?
I don't recall.
Okay. In speaking with Gaither and Dennis about the shooting on the highway,
Blue skies, why would this be their star witness? Because the prosecution, in order to get the rest of the RICO stuff to stick, they have to find a guilty vote unanimous on the murder of Donovan Thomas and the other murder. If they don't get there, everything falls. Because without the murder charge, the statute of limitations have run out on everything else. That is why they have been so immensely focused on Woody.
do you recall being at a pool party before the shooting occurred on the highway?
No.
Okay. Isn't it true that you told Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis that you all were at someone's home or at the pool party and you were getting ready to leave when you saw Booshi, Booshi, get on the phone prior to you leaving the party?
I don't recall what I told the investigators.
Okay. And you actually thought Booshi might be setting you up?
She know better.
Okay. But did you think, okay, did you tell the detective you thought that she might be setting you up?
I don't recall what I told the detectives.
And you thought that Booshi might be setting you up because her family was friends with Nutt's family?
I don't know who her family friends with. I don't even know who her family is.
Do you recall them saying in that same interview that once you all left the party, you all got on the highway and you got near, I believe it was Atlanta Medical Center back then. And that's the area where the shooting occurred on the highway.
Can you say it again?
Sure. That after you left the pool party, you and I believe Shannon got into a car and you all left, and the route that you took was near Atlanta Medical Center.
Oh, I don't recall what I told the investigators. The truth of the matter was I was trying to protect my friend. Threat.
Okay. Were you trying to protect Threat when you all were getting shot at on the highway?
I don't recall what you're talking about.
Okay. Was Threat in the car with you when you were getting shot at on the highway?
I don't recall.
Do you remember telling the detectives that you reached out to Yet Gotti because he was dating Booshi at the time, to tell him you thought that Booshi set him up?
I don't recall.
And when you spoke to Yak and you confronted him and said, your girl just set me up, he responded to you and said, who? Bushi? And then he told you he was going to call you back. He hung up. He called back and said, she doesn't know what you're talking about, that she didn't set you up.
I don't recall.
Now, earlier we talked about who you hang with, or back in 2015, who you were hanging with back in January of 2015. And did you tell detectives in the same January interview, Detective Gaither and Dennis, that outside of Shannon and Little D from Mechanicsville, you're not going to see them hanging with anybody else?
I don't recall what I told the investigators.
Did you also tell them that there's not going to be one time that you don't see you and Little D together, no matter what?
I don't recall what I told the investigators. But Lil D is not he don't have my life. He not like me. Lil D is a pretty boy. He for the girls.
Okay, so when you say he's not like you, what do you mean?
I don't recall.
Okay, so why did you just say that?
I don't recall.
He is there for the girls. He is not like me. Well, what could that be, folks? What could that be? One is there to get girls, and one is there for the respect, the power, and the violence. Maybe. I don't know. I've never met Woody. I would love to meet him, to sit down in private with no cameras, no recording, nothing, and just have a talk.
So when you say he's like the girls, what do you mean?
He's a pretty boy.
Okay.
He's not a troublemaker.
Oh, okay. So what does that mean? Why did you tell me that?
Like he was only around for the girls.
Okay. So when he got beat up in the club, was that only for the girls?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
So if he's only about the girls.
Like he's not a fighter. He's not a shooter. He's just a pretty boy.
Okay. Are you aware of Little D shooting at people's houses after he got beat up in the club in April of 2015?
No, Lil D don't know how to shoot no gun.
Okay. Were you aware of him being convicted for that?
Cause Lil D wanna be something that he ain't. So he probably took a charge. Ain't no telling.
Now, are you familiar with a person by the name of Trevia?
Who?
Trevia?
I don't know who that is.
Okay. Do you know of Moontung having a girlfriend named Trevia?
Oh, the girl. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I know who you're talking about.
Okay. And Trevia, was she at one point in time also dating Shell Kel?
That's her.
I'm asking you.
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall telling the detectives about Trevia and about the issues you had with Trevia yourself?
I ain't had no issues with her.
Okay. Do you recall telling the detectives about Moontung and Shell Kel getting into an argument at Club Crucial?
We grown. We men. We ain't doing no arguing, especially not over no girl.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis?
I would tell them anything.
And that their argument wasn't over a girl?
I don't recall.
Okay. Earlier you talked about pulling a gun out on Shelkel. Do you recall telling me that a few moments ago?
Yes.
All right. In this same January, excuse me, I thought it was in June, but in this same January interview, do you recall telling Detective Gaither that you actually told Shelkel that you almost shot at him and that you could have killed him if you wanted to? You actually told Detective Gaither.
If I got a chance, I would have.
Okay. But did you tell Detective Gaither that you told Shelkel that you almost shot at him?
I don't recall.
Okay. And that you actually told him, I was this close to you, but I could have killed you if I wanted to.
No, I don't recall.
Okay.
And he's back to I don't recall.
And that's when you told him, I ain't shoot at you, but I shot in the air. If I would have shot you, I could have got you.
You said it again?
Sure. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither that you actually did tell Shelkel that you almost tried to shoot at him, but that you ended up shooting in the air?
I don't recall.
And that you told him, I would have shot you. I could have gotten to you, bro.
Anytime he got shot at? No, I don't recall.
And even when you told Detective Gaither that you intended to shoot at Shelkel, were you arrested that day at all?
Because I'm not telling on myself.
But you told her what you told Shelkel, which was that you were shooting at him.
I told her lies because I knew she wouldn't be able to go back and knew she wouldn't go back and get nothing to prove that what I said was true.
Okay, but you just told this jury that you did try to shoot at Shelkel, so that wasn't a lie, correct?
I put a gun out on him. It's a difference.
Yeah. One thing about this damn infinity. Remember when Kayla Bumpus testified about the meeting? She brought the information about the infinity. Investigator Long said, no, that was never discussed. Miss Hilton knew exactly what that damn infinity was when Woody brought it up, which means it was said either in the ex parte meeting or they have had talks during this break. So Inspector Long lied
After
to the judge. Do you think the judge noticed after she said
after
Mr. Long
January
is,
28th,
sorry,
did you then go back to the police department in February?
do you think Judge Whitaker took notice of that damn infinity and that he might have done the wrong ruling regarding Kayla's testimony and Inspector Long's testimony? I assume that, I hope that one of the, unless they have other knowledge, we will hear about it tomorrow morning.
20th, after you, your daughter, and your child's mother were shot at when you were coming out the house.
They took me down there.
Okay. And when they took you down there, did you speak with the police?
I had no choice.
And did you tell them what happened to you?
I told them different stories.
What do you recall happening the day that you, your child, and your child's mother were shot at?
My child was crying. She wouldn't stop crying. We was taking her to the hospital. We came out the door. Somebody was out there waiting. And then what happened?
Okay. When you went to come out, child, where were you? Where
Called
were you?
home.
Okay. And where were you taking your baby?
To the hospital.
And today, do you recall which hospital you were taking her to?
I think Sky's right. This one that I used to always take her to.
Okay. And once you walked out the house, what do you remember happening?
I look around. I seen the cussing at the stop sign, just sitting there. I walked towards the car. I walked towards my car, and I grabbed my baby mama's hand and pulled her closer to me. And the car pulled out, like if it come, like they were trying to figure out which way they wanted to go. Then they turned my way. I told her to get down. I pulled the gun out, put my baby behind my back because she was in a car seat. I pulled my gun out. I can't remember if I threw my child in the back seat with my baby mama or if I just held her behind my back. But the car rolled on side of me. I seen all the windows up, and I didn't just want to shoot anybody out for paranoia. So I waited. They rolled up. They went down and tried to shoot, and I shot all in their car.
And what happened after you shot at their car?
I ran around, grabbed my baby mama out the back seat, told her to duck behind me as we tried to go back into the apartment, and they got out the window and tried to shoot. They shot, and I shot back at them again, and then the car started making a lot of noise. They ran into a house. They jumped out, and I shot at them some more. Then the neighbors, somehow we couldn't get in, but she got in, and we ran. The neighbors was in the house.
And the neighbor, the house you ran into, were they initially outside as well when the shooting first started? Do you remember?
I think it was, but I can't. It was so fast. I wasn't caring about it. My only mind was on my kid and my baby mom.
And when that occurred, did you feel the need that you had to protect your child and your child's mother?
That's my job.
And that's why you shot back.
That's my job.
Okay. And once everything occurred, did you wait for the police to come to tell them about what happened?
No, I was trying to dip, but when I came out, the police came so fast. Shit, they caught me.
And when they caught up with you, did you tell them everything you just told the jurors right now while you were still on the scene, still back at Carver Homes?
No, I lied and said that somebody named Tay was shooting back at them. Okay. And when he said he gonna call Gator, whatever her name is, I knew she was gonna be like, which Tay? So I just went ahead and told her I was shooting back.
Okay. So when you went down to the police department and you spoke with the detective, do you recall initially not wanting to tell them who shot at you or who you saw shooting at you?
So, I tell it over and over and over and over and over that I never saw no one face. I to this day, I still never saw no one face. The detectives, they pressured me. They kept asking me. I didn't know nobody. And then the next day they wanted the gun. They gave me 24 hours. I didn't give them the gun. They locked me up. And when they locked me up, they put me on isolation. They wouldn't let me out the room. I was going crazy. I was thinking about when nobody out there to protect my baby mom and my child. I was losing it. Shit, I was going crazy in that room. So I just went to putting things in my head, and I was requesting to speak to the police so I could say anything to get out, so I could get out there and do what I know.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the interview now on February 20th, 2015, and looking at those state's exhibits. Can you find the one that's February 20, 2015?
It's right in front of me.
And is that the one that you and Deshaun were in the interview room together?
Yes.
All right. And do you recall there being times in the interview that the detectives left and you and Deshaun were in there by yourselves?
I can't really say how that interview went because the police don't question me so many times.
And in that interview, initially, did you even tell that first detective that it was Tay who shot you?
No, I don't know which. It was so many of them. I just know when I was still in Carver home, I tried to go outside to get the key from the car because I had already left the car running, and Deshaun dropped her purse, which had the key in it. So I was trying to go get the key, and then that's when the police caught me. And the first police that came up, he didn't know me, and I didn't know him. So I just told him anything. But when he was like, "They getting a gang unit here," I was like, "Shit," because the gang unit know everybody I know. So I just told him I shot back.
And even when you told me you shot back, you did not get arrested for shooting back at Tay, or excuse me, shooting back at the cars that shot at you.
Right. So when I went ahead and admitted that I was shooting back, they searched me. And then he was like, "Okay, man, you're not under arrest, whatever." So he's like, "We just want to take you down for questioning." I'm like, "But if me and my baby mom got shot up, why you only taking me? If you're going to lock me up, just going to lock me up." And then one of the police because the police put like his handcuff. And he was like, "Nah, we don't need that." Told him put the handcuffs up. And he's like, "Man, come." So I like, "Do I got to go?" He's like, "Yeah, because I got to get your statement." So I'm like, "Well, why she?" And he's like, "She could come too."
Okay. And the both of you all went to the police department.
He took us down there.
All right. And she wasn't arrested and you weren't arrested when you went down there.
No, we wasn't.
All right. And during that interview, Do you recall them trying to find out from you who was the person that shot at you?
That's what he kept asking. I don't recall, but I know that's what he kept asking.
And you were concerned about telling them because you were concerned about snitching.
No, at that point, I didn't give a fuck about, excuse me, sorry. I didn't care about nothing or nobody walking this earth.
During that interview, do you recall the detective? Let me ask you to strike that. The person who interviewed you, was it Detective Thorpe?
I don't have a clue who it was.
Okay. Do you remember being Detective Gates or Detective Dennis?
I remember them saying that the gang unit gonna come question me. I don't remember. I don't even know if they questioned me about this. I can't remember.
Okay. Do you remember the detective asking, or did the detective ask you, do you recognize anybody in the car that tonight this evening shot at you? Do you recognize anybody? And Deshaun says, I couldn't see their face. He asked you, you recognize who it is. I'm just waiting on you to be real with me about it. And you said, it won't stop it. And he says to you, so you saying the loyalty, not knowing who was out here shooting at your baby mama, your baby ain't gonna stop it? Because you can't sit here and tell me today who you recognize as a person who was shooting at you. And then you continue to say, I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I didn't shoot one of them. I haven't done nothing to them. I honestly haven't. They've been shooting up. I haven't retaliated not one time. I'm going to tell you why I haven't, because I feel like police out to get me. Gaither called me. Guess what? They can call me. I put all my pride to the side. I put a lot of faith in her to handle. I'm sorry. And I put a lot of faith in her to handle this. And guess what? It's still going on. And he says to you,
Where's the question?
that he was concerned about snitching. Were you concerned about snitching?
No.
She talked for 3 minutes straight about what was in this damn police interview transcript. Just to get this question? No. She was just reading into record everything as long as she could, because nobody stopped her. And then she just, it's about the snitching thing. What? At that point, I do believe the judge has an obligation to step in, even if the defense attorneys doesn't object quick enough. But here we are.
I wasn't concerned about snitching. It was more about getting whoever did it. So if I had to throw the police out by saying anything for the person who actually did do it, I don't want the police to know who did it, because you shot me while I got my child. Fuck jail.
Okay. Do you recall telling the detective that one of your cousins was getting tortured now because people thought that he had snitched?
What I'm trying to do to people who shot at me and my child, I ain't trying to see them in jail.
Okay, but did you tell the detectives, again, you were concerned about being labeled a snitch?
If that was the case, then I wouldn't be a snitch.
Isn't it true that you told the detectives, your cousin, he's getting shot at, all this because they think he snitched? I'm already going through enough about something I didn't do. And I know if I was to tell you what was going on, as much as I know, they're going to be on the records and all this here, and you got to get him locked up, and he's going to get his discovery package. First thing you're going to do is send it 2 places, to the street and to prison, and float it all around the city of Atlanta, and then all around prison. But my name's over that. I'm not going out that way. No, I'm not going through none of that. Look, they shot at me, my girl, and my baby. Almost shot my face off as we were running. I'm not for sure, but I thought I heard one of the bullets hit the car seat and grazed the car seat. I don't know.
I've been to jail so many times that I know whatever I say to the police will be in black and white. They have me no concern about being labeled a snitch or being concerned about being labeled a snitch. The way I live and the way my mind set up is, I don't care how nobody label me. Like I told you, somebody shot me while I got my child.
Okay. And with that, the detective tried to encourage you to tell who you saw, and you were not. Is that true? My
right-handed guard, Detective Gaither, told me who shot at me. She asked me, did I see one of the people? And when she said that, I was like, I didn't see this boy, no nothing. First thing came in my mind, why you bring his name up? I didn't know no blood was in the car. I didn't know nothing. And when they told me that and she brought his name up, I knew who shot at me then.
Didn't you send to Detective Gaither, and the day after this interview, a picture of the person who shot at you in the car?
Tay never shot at me.
Okay, but
there was a throw off.
But you sent her that picture, correct?
I can't recall. If I did, I probably did. But my whole motive was to get you in my heart, like I said last time, and to this day right here, I have seen Tate after the fact, and I didn't do nothing to him because I knew 100% fact that this boy didn't shoot at me or do nothing to me. The pressure that the Atlanta police put on me was just like to say anything at this point, because at the end of the day, I know this boy didn't shoot at me. Y'all went to lock them up and charge him. The DA office called me, and when I was in, they didn't call me, they called Deshaun. When I was in jail, and they was talking to her, and they were saying something about trial. I told them people on the phone while I was in jail back in whatever year that was, that he wasn't the person that shot us. I'm not protecting him. And to the day, he's out wherever he at. I'm not protecting him. I never saw him shoot at me.
Okay. In the same February 20th interview, do you recall there being a period of time when the detective left the room and it was only you and Deshaun in the room speaking?
I don't recall nothing that took place in the interrogation. But as we speak today, I'm telling you what I recall. When they shot at me with me, Deshaun, and my child, I remember every second of that night. I still see it every night I go to sleep. I still won't. That's it.
And is it true that in the same February interview, when Detective Curry left the room, it was just you and Deshaun, you said to her, this shit not going to work. Sit right here and be a damn snitch, so I'm going to keep going. And she says to you, why are you acting like you did? I didn't. They want me to say I did. Well, you should have just said no. I thought you know all of them. And you said, I do know who it was. You were just saying you didn't know what to say. I did. When he jumped out the car, I know exactly who I saw. And she said, who? And he said, this shit got my blood pressure up. I think they be walking somewhere right here or something with the police right here. They had to be walking somewhere. They could have ran up to the car. And then you say, it's Tay and them. Do you recall telling Deshaun that when it was just the two of you in the room?
I don't recall saying that, but I have watched First 48, and any of my family members will tell you, I don't remember watch police all day. Any movie, I just watch and learn how they operate. When they police left out, I knew they were still recording this. Like I said, I like it.
So if you told the detectives, I don't know who shot me, why didn't you just continue to say that if you knew the cameras were running? Why didn't you just tell Deshaun that knowing that the cameras were running?
Because my whole motive is to convince the police that I'm going to tell them the truth.
But you already convinced them, according to you, by telling them you didn't know who shot you, correct?
But you got to understand the difference, like how you put pressure on me now. You keep applying pressure. You know what I mean? Like at this point, I'm liable to say anything, but the truth of the matter is I don't know who shot at me. Until Detective Gaither said one of the boys' name. And when she said one of the boys' name, she said blood. And
Detective Gaither gave him the name of a possible shooter. Detective Gaither, the most incompetent cop in history, gave Woody the name of a possible who possibly shot at him. Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? Detective Gaither, the absolute twat, gave the name of a possible shooter to Woody, who she knows is extremely violent. And it doesn't stop there. She gave him, he took the name and sent back a picture of the guy. Yeah, Detective Gaither with no reports. The gang unit apparently did well enough to be promoted within the gang unit. Listen to me again. She gave Woody the name of the person who shot at him. In my opinion, that is borderline attempted, or whatever. It's borderline Yeah, I mean, in the commission of a crime, if somebody ends up dead, you are equally guilty for that death. If that person is no longer with us, possibly because of whatever happened, that is, she should be charged for it. And you know, some crimes doesn't have a statute of limitation. Again, yeah, accessory to the crime. Thank you, Casper Ghost. That is the level of corruption in the Atlanta Police Department. And she's walking the streets. Detective Gaither. How can some of these cops who have been on the stand not be in prison? How can they not be in prison?
When they locked me up the next day, I was in what's name, and one of the boys came in like, he just came from Cub home, and they found it. He told me some stuff that happened. That I was like, what? I put 2 and 2 together, and that's how I knew who shot at me.
Was Detective Gates in the room when you were talking to Deshaun?
I don't know. Like yeah, I'm talking about the whole time frame. When that investigator questioned me, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't. I know Tay personally. Like, I'm not gonna tell you nothing about what me and Tay had going on, but y'all know, like, I know Tay didn't have nothing to do with me getting shot at.
Matter of fact, you just said you knew Tay. Didn't you tell Detective Curry that Tay had just been at your house a few days before the shooting?
Exactly. I invited him there.
Exactly. And you told the detective that's how you knew who he was, because he had been to your house.
You want to tell you why I invited Tay to my house? I'm not even gonna do him like that. No, I'm not telling y'all that.
Okay. I'm not asking you to tell me anything. I'm asking you, were you concerned about snitching, which is why you did not want to initially tell Detective Curry who shot at you?
Sustained.
After, in that same February interview, once Detective Curry left the room and you had an opportunity to talk to Deshaun, do you remember Detective Curry coming back into the room and speaking with you some more?
I don't recall how the interrogation went.
Okay.
I don't recall.
Do you recall being concerned that there was a whole gang after you because they thought that you had killed Nut?
I wouldn't be in the streets if that was the case.
Didn't you tell the detective at this February 20th interview, I can't run from it. It's a whole gang after me. Different niggas every day. It could be different niggas every day.
And I'm demonetized.
I was telling the investigator.
Might not be directly, but when this stream is reviewed for putting ads for the replay crew, yeah, probably won't happen. So if you would be so if you wouldn't mind, folks, if you have $2 or want to give somebody a membership, by all means, but don't give what you don't have. Do not ever give what you don't have. But if you have, I will gladly receive it. Okay, let's continue.
Is anything where I could be a victim? Because if I caught one of them down bad, that'd be justified.
When you say caught them down bad, what does that mean?
Self-explanatory.
It's not. If you can tell me, what does that mean?
I don't recall.
Okay, so why did you just say that?
I don't know.
And in February of 2015, when you had this initial interview after you and your child mother was shot at?
Yay! Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. Thank you. And it was gifted to, let's see here. Scroll, 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 scroll. Why does, where is it? There. To Lady Rudd, Steve Keat, Black Butterfly, Kells and Yang, Michael Boyle, Miss Unpopular Opinion, GB Live, Tonil Herbin, Mumsy Bot. All right, nice. Everybody thank Rachel for her generosity. Thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Did you just want the police to do their job and find out who killed Nut so that people would stop coming after you?
Can you say it again?
Sure. In February of 2015, when you had this initial interview, did you just want the police to do their job so that people could stop coming after you? You wanted them to find out who killed Nut so people could stop coming after you.
You saying, did I say that?
Yes.
I guess I don't recall. I think so. I don't know.
Okay. Were you tired of people coming after you thinking that you killed Nut?
I was tired of getting shot at.
Okay. And were you getting shot at because people thought you killed Nut?
Sustained.
Did you believe that you were getting shot at because people thought you killed Nut?
Well, I was getting shot at before that.
I'm talking about in January 2015.
I never got shot at in January 2015. I think I got shot in like in February or something like that.
When you were shot at and while you were in the car, was that in January 2015?
I don't recall. The only time I remember getting shot at is when I had my daughter. That's the only time I think I got shot at, if I'm not mistaken. After Nut got killed.
Okay. And you said you don't recall the time on the highway.
I don't remember if it was before or after he got killed.
Right.
I told you I've been shot at a lot.
Now, you said that you finessed them because they wanted the gun that you used to shoot back at the individuals who shot at you. What happened to that gun?
How do I know?
What did you do with the gun after you shot at them?
What gun?
The gun that you used to shoot at the individuals who shot at you.
I don't know nothing about no gun. I don't recall.
Okay. Did you just testify a few moments ago that while your baby was in your hand, you took the gun and shot at these individuals who shot at you?
Oh, I told them I throw that gun in the woods.
Who did you tell that to?
The police, they caught me there that night. And they went to search the woods and they said they couldn't find it.
All right. Did you tell the detective who you were interviewing with that the gun was back at home and that you were going to go get the gun and bring it to them?
Yes, I think I told them that.
Okay.
I told them if they let me go, I'd bring the gun back.
And that specifically, you won't call Gaither and give Gaither the gun?
I don't know if I said that, but I probably did.
Okay. And did you ever give Gaither the gun?
Nope.
Why not?
Is you crazy?
They asked you for the gun. Why didn't you give it to her?
I knew I wasn't going to get on the gun from the start.
Okay. Did you eventually explain in June of 2015 the reason why you never gave Gaither the gun?
What you mean?
When you were interviewed in June of 2015, did you tell Gaither why you never gave her the gun?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you tell Gaither in June of 2015 that you never gave her the gun because it was Shannon's gun?
What I'm gonna do with Shannon's gun?
Okay. Did you recall telling her that?
I ain't no telling. I probably did.
Okay. And that Shannon took the gun with him while he was on tour with
No, I don't. I tell Gaither anything.
Okay.
Just like I would tell the rest of the police. But as in the truth of what happened was, I hid the gun in the neighbor house, in their bathroom up under the sink.
So why wouldn't you just tell Gaither that you hid the gun?
Because they're gonna lock me up for the gun. I ain't supposed to have it.
Okay. But You had already told her in January 2015 that you had a whole chopper.
Here's the thing, folks. Here's the thing. Cops like to have a hold on somebody. Something to, well, we won't arrest you this time, but we will have it in mind when we actually need to. Then we know we can. As Bodhi said, he's a felon. They can arrest him. So Prosecutor Hilton's arguments here is absolutely bonkers, because I bet most of you logically can reach the same conclusion here. Cops wants to have hold on people, a hold. We know you have a gun, so speak to us. We know you have a shotgun, so speak to us. We know you have an AR, so speak to us. Give us information. Oh, he didn't give us information. Okay, let's bring him in, throw him in jail, do the solitary. Yeah. So it's not that shocking that they let him go a couple of times before they actually arrested him.
You didn't get arrested for having a chopper. So why would you get arrested for having this gun when you were protecting yourself from being shot at?
Because they don't matter what I tell them. They know I had guns, but it's what they catch me with.
Okay. And didn't Gaither and the detective who interviewed you the night that you were shot at told you that you wouldn't get in trouble, they just need the gun?
Yeah, but I don't know. Fool, go for it.
Now, when you were talking to the detective back in his February 20th interview, do you recall him asking you questions about Tay and where Tay was from?
Which Tay?
The Tay that you initially said shot at your car.
Oh, I don't recall.
Excuse me, shot at you and Deshaun.
I don't recall.
And that Deshaun actually told the police that he's either from Mechanicsville or he's from Simpson Road.
Deshaun ain't tell them nothing.
Okay. And matter of fact, Deshaun, when they asked him how old is Tay, Deshaun told them.
Overruled, because I think it's as to, let me hear the rest of the question.
Sure. During this entire.
How's he supposed to know this?
Because he's present in the room when she's telling him.
All right. I'm going to overrule it.
In the same interview, Deshaun was able to tell the detective that this individual by the name of Tay was about 20 years old.
I don't recall Deshaun saying nothing to the police, other than she ducked down.
And that matter of fact, you actually told the detectives that you used to hang out with this Tay before he shot at you.
I tell the detectives anything to get them up off me.
And specifically told him that you and him used to play basketball at Carver High School. The two of you used to play basketball on the basketball court at Carver.
I don't recall.
Ms. Hilton, we're going to need to, it doesn't have to be right this minute, but pick a stopping point sometime in the next 20 minutes or so.
Okay. Thank you, Ronna. You said earlier that you weren't concerned about being labeled a snitch. Is that fair to say?
Say that again?
Earlier, a few moments ago, you said you weren't concerned about being labeled a snitch. Is that fair to say?
I wasn't.
You was not.
What you mean?
That you didn't have any concerns being labeled a snitch. Is that correct?
I don't get what you're asking.
Back in 2015, were you concerned about people labeling you a snitch?
I was concerned about the safety of my family, so that's my mindset back then.
I'm asking you, were you concerned about being labeled a snitch?
A snitch is someone who tells the truth to the police.
Okay, so were you concerned about being labeled a snitch?
I was concerned about getting those who wrong me and the people I care about.
And now she returns to this. She has gone back to this on a number of occasions. And this is one of the bases of their prosecution lies in that people are scared of the YSL, scared of being labeled a snitch. I don't think she got there with Woody. She hasn't got there with anyone so far, neither Love or Hilton.
But
in the same February interview, did you tell Detective Curry, I went down here and I talked to her. Now everybody, excuse me, let me stop it. Did you tell Detective Curry during this interview, how can I survive this? How can I survive this? I can't go anywhere if I don't have money. Because Gaither called my phone when I was in front of Young Thug. She wanted me to talk. She wanted me to come down and talk. You feel me? Everybody there, everybody right there. You feel me? That's what I did. I left, went down here and talked to her. Now everybody look at me like I'm a snitch now. It's just like I can't get no money. You know, I was just getting money by just doing nothing. Hey man, I need to borrow this right here, just hanging around going for the mall. He paid for everything for me. And now they think I'm a snitch.
First of all, I was breaking in the stove, so I'm always getting me some money. That's what I'm gonna do. So what I told the investigators is just anything. I keep telling you that. You know what I mean? Like,
okay. So my question to you is, were you concerned back then about being labeled a snitch?
I was playing the victim card. I keep telling you that. It was about being labeled a snitch, because if I was concerned about being labeled a snitch, I would never even try to finesse my way out of no situation, because even lying to the police, y'all put it in there as in this and the third. I know anything that I say to a police officer, they're going to go into a police report anyway. So it's self-explanatory. I only cared about getting myself out of the situation to protect my family. That's it.
And is that why you're changing your testimony here today?
I'm not changing my... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because you're concerned about being labeled a snitch?
Ms. Hilton, the damn word called me a snitch. You think I'm only concerned about telling the truth today? I don't know what nobody else did, but I do know that I have lied on people, and I don't want that on my conscience. So today I'm sitting here telling you the truth. I told you the truth before y'all called me in this trial. I told y'all I have made it up. I told y'all that. I wasn't gonna say anything about nothing to hurt my friend. My friend was strict. I was only protecting him.
So when you told the detectives about what happened the night of Donovan Thomas's murder, were you protecting Threat?
Yes, I was gonna keep Threat name out of it as much as possible.
Did Threat have something to do with Donovan Thomas's murder?
I don't know what Threat got something to do with it, but I know that there was the last person I gave that car to.
What car?
The car, the Infinity car. And I wasn't gonna say nothing about it.
What Infinity car did you give to Threat?
The Infinity car that I had.
Okay. Is this the same car that you went to the rental car place with Thug and Thug rented the Infinity?
I'm talking about the gray Infinity car that me and Zachary was riding in. I rented the car, put up on Threat, gave the car to Threat, and I left.
Okay. Is this the same Infinity that you told police that you went to the Hertz rental car place with Thug when he rented the Infinity?
I just told you that I gave.
Remember the two guys from the rental service who had no idea who rented that damn car? The prosecution knew all along. They knew. They had the receipt, the bank statement. They had they could trace more or less that Infinity up until maybe an hour before Donovan Thomas murder. They knew all this, and they still put two guys from the rental company up there explaining about what it's like to be a gold member. And they knew all along that, first of all, Mr. Williams is not a gold member even. Yeah, it's they knew, and we still went through that.
That car.
Ms. Copeland, that's not what she asked. So listen to what she asked,
Yes,
and then answer that. As best you
even
can.
said it.
You're saying you gave Threat that Infinity. Is that what you're saying?
Hold on 1 second. Y'all just confused me. What you say, Yon?
Well, I wanted Ms. Hilton to ask the question clearly and you listen to it and answer it. So ask the question you asked him a minute ago, if that's what you want the answer to.
The infinity that you're talking about, is that the infinity that you went to the Atlanta airport with Thug when he rented the infinity?
What you asking?
You're talking about an infinity that you gave the threat, correct?
Right.
The infinity that you're referring to, is that the infinity that you went to the Atlanta airport with Thug when he rented the infinity?
Yes.
Okay. And that was the car that Thug rented, correct?
I asked him to rent me a car, and I read the car, and I gave the car the threat.
When did you give the car the threat?
That same night I read it. The night before that happened.
Before what happened?
The same night it happened. I can't remember. I gave the car the threat, and I left.
Where did you give the car the threat at?
At the studio.
What studio?
I pulled up and gave it to him and pulled right off.
What studio?
It was by Northside Drive, Marietta. It was one of them streets.
Was there anyone else at the studio when you gave the car?
I didn't go in the studio. I pulled up. I was pulling up, and I seen Threat. I gave Threat the car, jumped out of the car. It got in my church. Called my brother to come and get me.
And was this the day Donovan Thomas died? Was this a few days before? In relation to when Donovan Thomas died, when did you get Threat this vehicle?
I gave Threat the car. I read the car, gave it a Threat.
So when you wrecked the car, why would you give Threat a wrecked vehicle? So
what you mean? It wasn't damaged bad. I don't know. I hit something on it, and then shit, the thing on the cover, it was tripping. So when I pulled up, I went giving it to Threat, but I just seen him standing outside. And I was like, he like, what you about to do? I'm like, just get the key real quick. I'll be right back. Gave Threat the car, and I dipped. I don't know if it was late. So when I woke up the next day, I came outside, and this when I heard what happened.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Hilton, is this a good time to
Yes,
start
it's a good
for the
time to
day?
start.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, Bodie. Investigator Long said there was no word whatsoever about that infinity in the ex parte meeting. So the judge ruled Investigator Long more credible than Kayla Bumpus. And here they are with that damn infinity, and the prosecution knew it. I said this early on in this stream. Do you believe the judge took notice that she might have done the wrong ruling about that? Who was the credible one? Well, it might be that Investigator Long is sounding more credible. And a lot of people, a lot of good liars are really, really convincing. And now we know Kayla Bumpus was correct. Woody was correct. Investigator Long lied under oath in front of Judge Whitaker. In my opinion, I have to say, for legal reasons. It is, folks, in the Atlanta region, this is the moral corruption of the district attorney's office. The investigators, the prosecutors, without a flinch, they will lie under oath in court. Without a second's thought, they will lie. Why is that? Well, they have a boss who lied in church during a Martin Luther King sermon about her relationship with Nathan Wade. Now, if that is allowed, the prosecutors know, well, if she can, We will too.
All right, Mr. Copeland, we'll see you back here at 9 in the morning.
9.
9 in the
I
morning.
can go?
Yeah, you can go for now. All right, ladies and gentlemen. To maintain the integrity of this trial, remember that you need to decide this case based only on the evidence that is admitted during this trial and the law that I will explain to you. You should consider only the evidence admitted inside of this courtroom. You may not conduct any research on your own about this case or about any of the people or the places mentioned in this trial. You may not visit any places mentioned in the evidence, and you may not refer to any books or documents that have not been admitted during the trial. You should not take or review any photographs or video of any person or place involved in this case, except to review the evidence during your deliberations later. Also, you may not use any dictionaries or any other reference materials, including online reference materials, to help you in any way with this case. You may not use Google or any other internet search engine or consult websites, blogs, podcasts, any social media websites, apps, including but not limited to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, Reels, Twitch, YouTube, Kick, Reddit, or the like. I'm sure I left out a few, but any of those. Or any other source, electronic or otherwise, to get information about this case. And do not use any of these sources to get information about legal terms or concepts or about the law. Finally, do not watch, read, or listen to any accounts of this trial that might appear in the news media, whether online, in print, on television, on the radio, or otherwise. And this includes any social media as well. In short, do not seek any information about this case from any source outside of the confines of this courtroom. Remember, you are the ones who've been qualified as fair and impartial jurors to decide this case, and no other influence should affect your decision. For that reason, you may not discuss this case with anyone, including your family and friends, or let anyone discuss this case with you or around you. This includes discussion or sharing information in person or by phone, email, text, blog, or any form of social media. And if anyone does approach you about the case, please immediately let Sergeant Ingram or another deputy or court staff know that. Please remember that you should consider the evidence with an open mind. Do not jump to conclusions, and do not reach any final conclusions until this trial is complete. And by that, I mean until the deliberations begin, after you've heard all of the evidence, the lawyer's closing arguments, and the law that applies to this case. You must not, until that time, even discuss the case amongst yourselves in the jury room, during breaks, or anywhere else. Please remember to leave your notes and notepads in the jury room as you leave for the evening. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and we will see you at 9 a.m. in the morning. Thank you. You're excused for now.
Yeah, and nothing else happened. So that concludes day 109. So today we watched Woody. We saw Woody. We saw the person. He might have gone past that, I don't know. But it wasn't that long ago he was one of the absolute most dangerous men in the Atlanta region. And you heard him. We also saw the prosecution again caught in a lie. Tomorrow depends on tonight, because now, folks, I am going out into the New Orleans nightlife. I have no idea when I will return. I'm going to have so much fun here. All right, folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to do this. I mean, without you guys, this wouldn't be possible at all. It wouldn't be possible. So thank you again. And you know it. Hug your family. Unless your family is crap, then screw them and give your love to the people who deserve it. I'm going to send you off to Ian Ronco. He is doing his Monday Night Law. And yeah, that's going to be amazing. I'm off into the New Orleans nightlife. Everybody, thank you so much for being here again. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow. All right. See ya. Bye-bye.